Good evening, my little twilights. Welcome back. Tonight we will be reading Ripples on Deep Water by Orphan Account. This is a very nice fic that I have recently started reading and I really want to share it with everyone. It currently has 58 chapters. It is completed. If you want to go over to Archive of Our Own to give the author kudos, you're more than welcome. Again, it is by Orphan Account. I will add the link to the story in the description along with all of the tags. As for now, and for those of you who don't go to read the tags, here are the archive warnings. This fic contains graphic depictions of violence and major character death. Here's the summary. Midoriya Izuku didn't expect much from life. He knew it expected everything from him, and he was always trying to rise up and meet that challenge, except for one little mutation in his genes that made all the difference, except for one little change in the route home after a pretty depressing day. Or, when All Might crushes Izuku's dreams, he crosses the path of someone who rebuilds them. Izuku's going to be a hero, even if it won't be exactly as planned. Or how the tiniest wingbeat of a butterfly over the still ocean brings tsunamis to distant lands. Chapter 1. Kill Your Heroes. Izuku's foot caught the side of the pavement, and he stumbled, waving his arms to reorientate himself until he regained his footing. He glanced around, suddenly getting the feeling that he was like one of those TV characters that gets introduced by doing something really stupid. It was probably nothing. After all, why would anybody start their story at the end of the day like this? Izuku smiled bitterly, looking down the street. His mother would be worried sick. Kachon's probably pissed as hell. He's got to do his homework, which hopefully wasn't completely destroyed, and transfer the information from number 13 to a new one. But can't that wait a bit? Traveling back to the underpass, Izuku shuddered at the smell. He continued to a different destination, one he hadn't exactly figured out yet. As he progressed in his journey, the pitying glances he got from familiar faces became few and far between. Fewer and fewer recognized Izuku as the poor, quirkless boy, and he reveled in that anonymity, being given nothing but a passing glance. His plain looks are an advantage outside of the area his schoolmates lived in. He boarded a train, finding a seat in a relatively empty car and setting his burnt book bag at his side, sighing as he managed to get it open. Even though the sludge still clinging to it made the process more difficult than it had to be. He'd have to get a new one, along with a new journal. He thinks glumly as he pulled the ruined notebook from his bag, flipping through scorched and soaked pages, ink running and making his drawings and kanji indecipherable. I should get this cleaned up as fast as I can. A slight wheeze escaped his throat when he came upon the pair of pages. All Might, the paper proclaimed. They were balled in his hands before he even realized what was happening. Tears, not of sadness, Izuku realizes with a jolt, but anger, are pricking his eyes. His tears usually feel cool on his cheeks, popping free without resistance, but these were hot and stinging, refusing to fall as he tore the pages to shreds and shoved them to the bottom of his bag. The reality of how absolutely shit his day had been, settling in completely. If you want to be a hero that badly, there's a quick way to do it. Believe that you'll be born with a quirk in your next life, and take a swan dive off the roof of the building. It's not bad to dream, but you also have to consider what's realistic. His fingers dug into his pant leg, pain shooting up from where the nails went hard enough to pinch the skin. Maybe they were right. Are you okay? No, The rose-colored glasses just got ripped off my face, smashed to bits on the pavement with my dreams. Nodding was his only reply to a girl with pink dreadlocks. The girl stood from her place and practically throws herself over to his side of the train. Izuku shifts uncomfortably as she leans over to check out the ruined pages. Ooh, this is really cool, Stranger-kun. Looks really messed up though, and smells like sewage. The girl seemed perfectly happy to invade his personal space, and the only other occupant on the train, an exhausted-looking man, huffs in amusement. I'm Hatsume Mei. Ooh, oh my Kami, is that breakdown of Space Hero 13 suit? He felt himself redden slightly. She snatches the notebook from his hands and seems unbothered by the general grossness of it as she leafs through and looks at the other ruined sketches of support items. You got an eye for detail, Stranger-kun, Hatsume declares, dropping the notebook back in his lap and then grabbing his arm, ignoring his panicked yelp as she pulls a big black marker from nowhere and scrawls a bunch of random numbers and letters on him. If you can figure this out, I'll show you how to build support items for real instead of just theory. The train whistle blew, and Hatsume flounced off without Izuku saying so much as a word and a weird code on his arm. Minutes ticked by before he wondered aloud. What the fuck just happened? Sue him. Sometimes he swore. He grew up around Kachan. The weird man huffs a short laugh again, but offers no explanation. Instead, he asks, what's got her so interested in that beat-up thing? When Izuku looked through the notebook, he felt his heart sink a little further. This thing was really useless now, huh? As useless as he was. Hero analysis? He mumbled in response. I think she was talking about the parts where I go over improvements in support items. You any good at it? Izuku shrugged in response. I guess so. I was mostly doing it so I could analyze on the fly when I got to be a hero. But I'm probably gonna drop it now. Why is that? He doesn't say anything this time, just shrugging again and closing the notebook. The man sat up, suddenly looking way more attentive. Is he okay? Izuku blinks at him a few times. Bags under bloodshot eyes, messy hair, white scarf, plain black clothes, and what looked like a weird belt. He wasn't homeless. For somehow the scarf was taken care of, but likely doesn't have much free time from the hair. Eye bags are indicative of insomnia or long work hours. Bloodshot meaning likely side-based quirk. Belt looks more like a utility belt, which leads him to the logical conclusion of take a breath, problem child. Izuku felt himself flush again as he clamped a hand over his mouth. Damn it. He needed to dump the muttering habit soon. It wouldn't help him. And everyone thought it was creepy anyway. Sorry, Eraserhead-san, he mumbled. Eraserhead lifts an eyebrow, but doesn't comment on it. With a mind like that, you could pretty easily be an intelligent hero or an underground hero, even a support hero. Izuku focused his eyes down. Even if I'm quirkless? Eraserhead huffs again, this time sounding more annoyed. Night Eye doesn't read the future of every villain to win battles, kid. The train whistle blows, and Eraserhead leaves without another word. Izuku stares after him, turning the phrases over in his mind. He hadn't said a single cruel word. Izuku zipped up his bag, and when the train came back to his area, he disembarked and ran to the corner store, using his small allowance to get a new bag and notebook, and walked home. When he finally stepped over the threshold, his mother was waiting there. Izuku, where have you been? I saw the news. I was so worried. Mom, I'm fine. Izuku interrupted her tearful rambling, closing the door gently. I just needed to clear my head. think something's over. Mom didn't seem to hear him, fluttering her hands as she walked in a circle around him. You should get a shower, sweetie. You could get sick. He nods and heads to his room, copying the numbers onto a scrap piece of paper and staring at it for a few minutes, thinking, ALB4, ALB3A, ALCLAL, BLE, ALA2ALA, ALCLAL, ALALBLA, ALB4, BLE, ALC2A, ALBLBL, ALALA2A, ALCLAL, BLE, ALALB2, ALALB2, ALBLBL, ALABC, BLE, ALCLAL, ALBLBL, ALC3, ALBLC, ALALALB, BLE, ALB3A, ALBLBL, ALB3A, ALCLAL, BLE, ALALALB, ALBCL, ALALBLA, ALCLAL, ALCLAL. How did she even fit all of this on his arm? Her handwriting wasn't that small, and she wrote it so fast. He thought it over while he showered, pondering the weird mishmash. It was a pattern, and an important one. Letters and numbers in random order, maybe? Maybe it stood for something. Pattern of one and another, switching. Caesar cipher, coordinates. One after another got thrown out, abandoned like trash. Binary, switching ones and zeros. It couldn't hurt. When he got out of the shower, he threw them in a binary translator with numbers as ones and letters as zeros. But he just got a confusing mess. Some simply weren't long enough. Wait a second. The letters and numbers weren't random at all. For the next quarter hour, he spent painstakingly writing out the numbers and letters into ones and zeros. A was 1, 0, B was 2, C was 3, D was 4, E was 5, 1 was 1, 1, 2 was 2, 3 was 3, and so on. 1, 0, 5, 6, 8, 9, 3. It was a phone number. That's all for this chapter, my twilights. I know it was still very short. I am working on putting longer podfics out. I'm currently working on a bunch of different projects. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoy this fic. This is maybe the third time I'm rereading it right now. I honestly love these types of stories. If you haven't realized from the last one, I love it when Aizawa is pulled into the whole story, specifically Dadzawa type things. And I love how instead of him saying that he fights Quirkless, he brings in a different hero. More often than not, authors only focus on Aizawa fighting Quirkless, but there are a lot of different heroes who basically fight Quirkless. There's Midnight, there's Hizashi, obviously. There's Night Eye, as you guys heard. There's a lot of heroes out there. These are the main ones that I know of and specifically know the names of. Honestly, love these types of fics. And even in the notes, the author says that this story, this part, was inspired by a song literally called Kill Your Heroes. They're saying Aizawa's introduction came from the opening line. Well, I met an old man dying on the train. No more destination, no more pain. I love that. And the way that they basically kind of briefly bring in that Izuku is struggling, but they don't really go into that. A lot of people, a lot of authors throw everything out there immediately. I love it when authors make us guess. But again, you can go ahead and read the fic ahead. It is completed. I will be putting it in the description, the link in the description. So go ahead, drop your kudos, drop your comments. I'm sure they'll love it. And again, let me know what you thought of this video. Good night, my little twilights. See you next time.